We've been hearing a lot of negative news, tragic news, and I know, as you said, as you mentioned, these are challenging times, and we all must get up to do our best. I want to start this conversation with a positive note, and I also wanted to bring once again reinstate, or this is something we all know, that every challenging situation will help us do things differently, come up with innovative ideas. Every adversity teaches us something new, makes us stronger. So did the pandemic. Shama, I wanted to ask you to elaborate as to what did we learn from these challenging times? What did the pandemic teach us?
Thank you, Shilpa. Thank you, Mani, for introducing me so brightly and so nicely. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is safe in their own trying times. I'm pretty overwhelmed with the anxiety and uncertainty with which I can imagine that many of us would be. So let's start this Saturday morning webinar with a positive enhancement skills for our own knowledge. So as we are going to talk about something positive, let's start with a research. UNESCO, the United Nations Education, Scientist and Cultural Organization, has promoted the distance learning. Earlier, many of the parents used to come and say me, "Ma'am, kids are going to school for 4 5 hours, and we are not able to know what they are learning there." Now it's completely in your hands. You can observe what your child is learning and how it is happening. So at the same time, we are doing the self growth for ourselves. The next thing is developing the relationship and empathy. Earlier we were like, "Ma'am, हम लोग के पास हमारे बच्चों के साथ time spend करने के लिए है ही नहीं." Now we can take this as a positive and enhance the empathy. At the same time, we can build a relationship. We can have a value for human lives. Earlier we were lacking this aspects in our own lives. The quality time which we are spending with our kids. At the same time, we are having the life skills training. Like I remember my brother going to USA a week prior. My mom was like really panicked. My brother didn't know how to just put a bed sheet on my bed, or just he knew how to make a Maggie. But after going there, what he is going to do? But now it's the right time to keep your kids learn how to do the life skills. At the same time, we are going to be very quick adaptive. Now we know how to adapt things very nicely, and we are resilient. Abhi, bring it on. Whatever comes now, we are ready to manage. So that kind of attitude has developed as a survival skills in us. So that's also on the positive note. The other thing which we would like to talk about, the nature is changing quite well now. What we can see, like now earlier the summer was like 44, 45 degrees. This time the summer which we are having is 39, 38, 37. So there is a little change in the temperature also. And now we can see the birds which we used to see in the early days. When I remember when I was a kid, I used to see the sparrow and stuff. But now I can see the sparrow and the different birds in the apartments or somewhere else. So this is a little change which is happening in the world at this point of time, because this is temporary. I can understand that, but still I can see that changes happening. So I'm happy on all of this aspect. So let's see, Shilpa. I was going through your website yesterday. I was going through your page, and I must say you are a dynamic personality. I am never been a fitness trainer. I cannot get inside the fitness anytime. But after seeing you, I got little enthusiastic that I would continue doing that. But I can see you post many positive videos and many things that people can do it at home. At the same time, I observe the same thing with Ekam. So I want you to elaborate a little bit how you do it and what you do it. And there is a little twist in a game. So when the video is going to play, I want all the participants to understand the activities, what is going on, and figure out what are the developmental milestones the kids are achieving, and write it in the chat and send us across. Right, Shilpa?
Okay, that's good. So, Shama, I want to talk to everyone about Ekam. This will be like an example. Why I'm talking about Ekam is when the pandemic hit us, we were intending to be a physical school. But then, just after we inaugurated the school, launched the school, the pandemic hit, and we wanted to see how can we educate children. And our age group is from 18 months to 5.5 years. which is the most critical age group to teach anything virtually. But we didn't give it up at that. As I said, every challenging situation makes you come up with innovative ideas. We brainstormed. I take pride in saying this. And we came up with a virtual, education system for children as little as 18 months to 5.5 years. But at the same time, they don't have the attention span to sit in front of the, screen. So what did we do? We collaborated with the parents. As we all know, the child development, most of the child development happens from 1 to 8 years, and those are crucial formative years, and we just cannot let children not get the best out of those years. So our curriculum is completely activity based learning, learning through play. So the child will never feel like he's sitting in a classroom or something is forced into his mind. So we collaborated with the parent and we came up with multiple activities that the child can do with the parent when we are guiding them on virtual screen. And this is not just for time pass, or we didn't want to just engage the kids. We planned a curriculum which was addressing learning through so many activities, learning, like life skills. We introduced mindfulness, we introduced physical fitness, singing, and art. And how did we do that? Very simple. Learning, like mindfulness, people might think, what can you really teach such a young child? What can they sit and meditate? But mindfulness is not just, meditating. Mindfulness is being mindful about everything that's happening around them, their emotions, their thoughts, like mindful eating, like mindful of the senses, what they're perceiving. And the simple exercises like, breathe in, breathe out, count. Like when you breathe in with the child, you can make them count 5 times, and you breathe out, let them count 5 times. And when someone is getting anxious, a child is getting anxious, you make sure you ask them to close the fist. And with every breath out, you count one, breathe in two, breathe in three, and you will see a drastic difference in how the energies calm when a child gets anxious. Physical fitness, again, we did multiple activities with the parent where the parent and child were actually jumping and dancing to the songs that we played and the curriculum we set. Singing, and again, art. Art is very, very therapeutic. We try to encourage, parents to bring out stuff that they already have in their, kitchens and homes, like utensils. We help them paint with utensils. We made beetroot color. We made use of haldi from the kitchen. So making child very resourceful from what they already have in the house and doing it with their parent was a huge hit, because that way I felt the parents felt very empowered. The children had this feeling of accomplishment. So at the end of the day, the bonding happened and it was a huge hit. I'm not just saying because I'm the founder of Ekam, but it is so gratifying with a little bit of help. If you kind of plan right activities through which a child can learn and have fun, but not feel like that learning is the best way to handle children. That's what Ekam did, and it's a success. And looks like this year also we have to do virtual, so we're coming up with many, many more activities to learn. So after that, I wanted to ask you, Shama, like what are the challenges that parents are facing now during this pandemic?
Right. So, what are the challenges you, as a parent, you are facing during this time? Just type it down in the chat. Till then, I'll say what are the challenges parents complained me about, or they are calling me, ma'am, this is happening with the kid. What can I do next? So, first thing is the anxiety of the future. Many of the parents doesn't know what's going to happen. School is going to start. School is not going to start. Exams are going to get cancelled. We need to keep our kids occupied with their tuitions. We should not give them tuitions or whatnot. Delay in future. For example, my sister-in-law, she wanted to go US this year for Canada, but she had to drop it because the flights are dropped out, and the university indirectly transferred her to the next academic year. So there are the few anxiety about the future. The second, many of them are writing in the chat that there is a health issue. Sedentary lifestyle. Kids are not going anywhere. They are always in the house. No outdoor activities. There is a Chinese research that says that if we have a physical activity regularly, it is then important to avoid the behaviors. Because we don't have the physical activities, now the behavior tantrums are increasing. At the same time, because we are not going out in the sun, we are having lack of vitamin D, which is essential for the cognitive developments, bones, teeth, and everything. Because we are using lots of screen, there is a back pain, eye strain, disturbed sleep due to the increase in the screen time. So these are the challenges which we are facing. Aggressive behaviors, what children are showing because of the isolation, loneliness, missing the peer interaction, and there is a drastic behavioral change in many of the young kids also, because this is a sensitive period when the kids should start going to school, have a social interaction, but due to this we are not allowing them to do that, so they are not having the learning pattern also. Then there is a social anxiety, lack of confidence. Now when we meet someone on the, earlier when I used to go in the lift, I used to get many people saying, "Hi Shama auntie, how are you, what is going on?" Now they are always in the phone, or they are very clueless what to do next. How should I greet, how should I meet? Next is make believe activity, because they are more with the screen. So they are more like, I am a train, I am like a ghost, I am like this character of the screen, which they are not able to inter associate with the real life. There is an impact on learning disability kids also, because they are not able to get the therapies physically, because we also went online because of this pandemic. We are working from 7:30 to 10, but it's only because few kids which we are not able to manage on the screen. On the screen laptop, we are not able to cater to their needs. Only for them we are working, because we have to start from zero if we give any breaks to them. So that's impacting everyone. At the same time, there is an impact between socio-economic backgrounds also. We are Shukalmala blessed with the financial strengths we have, but many of us are not, many of the people whom I know are not having the gadgets to have their online classes over the phone, or they are drivers, or they are the maids whose kids are not able to attend the classes on the screen. So these are also adverse conditions which we are facing. So these are the few adverse conditions, Shilpa, which I feel, and there are many things which parents, the most of them I completed.
So those are
So
short of things that you listed,
yeah,
and mind-boggling. But let's also come up with the kind of parenting techniques that you offer to the parents to address all of these, if not all of these, at least few of these.
yes. So let's jump into techniques. These are the problem parents know. Many of the parents are typing in also. So I'm great that we are going to address most of them, and we would try to give you a practical solutions for all of this. So before I start the parental technique, which I'm going to share, the half process which I'm going to do from my end. My end is complete. I'll give you all the tricks what we can use. But half the process is done by you, how you're going to make it, do it at home with your child, and how effective you can make it. It is going to be from the preschool till adolescence. It's not that this one technique is only for preschool, one technique is only for the adolescents. Everyone is compiled in the techniques which we are going to use. The first one is ABC technique. What is ABC technique? One, ABC is, A is for antecedent, B is for the behavior, C is for consequences. Antecedent is how you ask your child to clean the room. It's like if you ask him with a loud voice, you ask with the soft voice, or you say, let's do it together. Depends on how you're going to ask them. That is called as antecedent. Next, it leads to behavior. If child is going to clean it, if child is not going to clean it, depends on how you're going to ask them. So first, how we are going to ask is the first thing. Second is how the child is going to react to it. And the third is the result or the consequence. The room is clean or room is unclean. So, and then on that process, how is your reaction? You're very happy, or you're very sad, or you're frustrated, or you're screaming on your child. So, it depends on what is your action. It's going to be his own behavior for the longer time. So, you need to understand how you ask it, how you do it, and how the kids are going to react. If you be on the consistent level with ABC behaviors, 90% of your problems are solved. Next is observe the behavior you want to promote or reduce. So first you need to observe what you want to be good at. Many of the parents who come to me, they know this technique. Like, you need to appreciate what is good in the child, what is not good in the child. We need to just leave it. We don't have to encourage that. This will guide you for the focus and make the process of the next manageable behavior. You need to understand कि अगर ये गलत कर रहा है, अब उसका अच्छा बिहेवियर क्या होएगा. यू नीड टू एनालाइज व्हाट इज गोइंग टू बी अ गुड बिहेवियर. इफ माय चाइल्ड इज स्क्रीमिंग, so what is the good behavior? Talk softly. So what we as a human we do is we usually say don't scream. So instead of that we need to say talk softly. Just it is a matter of concern how you project it to the people. Now, yesterday we had a dry run when I was very loud and my voice had to be reduced. So at that point of time, I was expecting there should be something like talk softly. So this is how you talk. So this will help you to make sure the behaviors are changed in the permanent manner. It's not a temporary change कि मैं आज बोल रही हूँ, कल नहीं बोल रही हूँ, परसों बोल रही हूँ, तरसों नहीं बोल रही हूँ. So it's not going to be like this. You need to be consistent with whatever you're doing. And you should go very slow. If I have to learn a music, so if I want to learn a piano, so I need to know each key, how it performs. So yeah, I have to take one key at a time. I cannot change completely in one day. So you need to make sure that it's only one thing for a week, not for a day. One thing for a day, it's a very less, it's not a permanent change. Use it for a week's time. First, do no harm. Now, because everyone is home, like everyone in my home is also home, my husband says coffee, coffee, coffee every 15-20 minutes, and we need to go and do that. Then my kids say, Mama, bhook lagi, bhook lagi, bhook lagi. I need to go and do that. If there are grandparents or they are extended family, then we need to do everything. As a human, I get frustrated. I am like done for the day. 8 o'clock, my kitchen is closed. After 8 o'clock, don't ask me to do anything inside my kitchen. So before setting all this kind of thing, you need to have your own mental health good. So on this, I want Shilpa to talk more. So we'll have that talk after a certain time, wherein she will give us little tips how to keep ourselves mentally active and mentally strong.
Parental techniques, I would, before I address what I've done for my son or, during the pandemic, I personally feel as humans, we can do and undo things with our own will and wish. That means we have the ability to choose our actions, thoughts, everything. And as adults, we're not ready with all answers. We all have to learn, we are constantly learning. And parenting techniques also. One parenting technique doesn't cannot be applied for every child. Not just that, the techniques that worked for you from your mother might not be, working for your child because they live in a different situation, they live in a different generation, the challenges are different, the needs are different. So the parents are constantly learning on the go. We are not, just because we're adults, we don't have all the answers. And it's okay to also let your child know that mama doesn't know few things. We will check it out. It's okay to admit. Before that, for us to be able to address every situation, I personally feel mental health, physical health has to be in top condition. So the first and foremost thing is parents must upgrade themselves, parents must equip themselves, parents must empower themselves. Just with two things: physical fitness, mental fitness. Physical fitness, there's a lot of awareness about it. A lot of us are already into physical fitness, and a lot happens through physical fitness. You become less stressed, you burn out your energy, you get clarity, energy levels are high. Along with physical fitness, you can also start eating right, which also a lot of people are doing. But having said that, there is a tendency to overeat if you're all staying home. So it becomes very, very crucial for us to audit what is being cooked at home and what is being stocked at home for our children and how much is being consumed. So it's very, very important that we audit that. If people have not started physical fitness still as yet, there are so many YouTube channels and websites, authentic websites, wherein you can just search for 10-minute workout sessions that you can do staying at home, not having to really take a gym membership or any of that sort. Online classes, there's if someone is willing to learn, there is so much of information online. So take care of your eating habits, take care of your physical fitness, and again, mental fitness. This I want to emphasize a lot more than the physical fitness and eating right because that's got a lot of awareness. Meditation, yoga is an age-old science which worked for thousands of years, and it is a technique that works on every system. If you see, why are we stressed out? Because we are consumed by too many thoughts. We are worrying about things that have not yet happened. We are constantly overthinking and it drains you out. So that is how the stress is building. The It is proven, and it is scientifically proven that your breath is directly connected to your emotions. So once you get a certain kind of mastery on your breath, your emotions automatically kind of calms down. You get more clarity of thought. You can see things differently than than you were seeing before with a lot of clutter and confusion. It calms your nervous system, it calms your senses, it helps you sleep better. It kind of changes the very chemistry of your body. So I strongly suggest bring 10 to 15 minutes of pranayama into your life. Again, this is very simple. You can log on to many YouTube channels that teaches you 10-minute pranayama. Do it with your child and see the magic happen. So once you're physically fit, mentally fit, energetically you're eating the right kind of food, you are in a position to address any situation that comes your way. You could do it with whatever ability you have, looking at the needs of your own child, looking at what can be done in your household with your situations. So it's like one answer doesn't apply to every parent, but if you have the healthy body, healthy mind, and eat right, you will be equipped to do the best you can do for your child, for your his needs, her needs, and also you feel empowered to be a parent. So for us, it's very important that parents first get our act right before we address children because we don't know all. That is something we have to get it very clear and loud that we are learning too. And parenting techniques during this time, what I did was I only looked for progress in my child, but not perfection. I know the structure of learning will be completely different if he's learning at home online. So I was easy, I was forgiving, I was more empathetic. I did not care if he did, he excelled at everything. But if I saw progress, that was enough for me because even kids are adapting to this new, lifestyle, a new way of learning. So be a little empathetic towards children and engage them in simple things like folding or doing their bed, washing the car. I made my son wash all my dogs one day. He also cleaned the cars. I made him mop the floor. And trust me, he felt empowered. He felt accomplished. He felt, like he added value to his time. And also, you're teaching them dignity of labor. So, pandemic did teach us a lot of things. At the same time, it's very important for us to be mentally, physically fit. That's what the parents should do first.
United Nations Children Fund came up with a program how to talk to your child during this pandemic, during the coronavirus. Many parents are finding it hard and to answer the questions the children have about coronavirus. They are more not sure how to talk to them without scaring them. Many of the parents have like, अगर मैं बात करता हूँ तो ज़्यादा डर जाते हैं. So we need to make sure that ask the children. First thing is ask the children how much they already know about it, and then follow their lead. It's not that we for whatever we know we just say and run away. No, you ask children and then take a lead and ask them how what they know and explain them. Take the chance to remind yourself about good hygiene practice without introducing new fear. Do not be, do not make it awkward. Make it funny. For example, washing the hands, you can sing songs along, or you can have hand washing techniques, how to do it thoroughly. Play a game, guessing game with how long is the 6 feet for them. They doesn't know the meters, how it works, or how the feet works. So play guessing games with it. Ki if I am a person whom you're meeting, how far I can be. So that's helped them to get engrossed. Allow your child to talk freely, open up the discussion. Do not minimize or avoid their concern. If someone is positive in their home, let them know about it. Say what you have to do it and how can they take care of themselves during that time. Ensure that it is natural to feel scared about these things and give them full attention. If you cannot answer the question, don't guess. Use the opportunity to explore the answer together. Explain that some information online isn't accurate and that is the best to trust the expert. Like WHO, UNICEF, they are the reliable source which we can go. Pay attention to what your child is seeing and hearing on the television, radio, or online. Misinformation can cause lots of anxiety and fear. Ask them to let you know if they feel unwell. Reassure them that you know it is hard, maybe scary, or even it is very boring and lonely at times. It's okay. It's not like parents can always keep the kids entertained. It's okay. Sometimes feeling boring is also a good way of expressing the emotions. Avoid language that might blame art and lead to stigma. Explain the virus can make anyone sick and that we should not make assumptions about who might have a coronavirus. Finally, it is most important, make sure that you know you are always available to listen and talk. Make sure that kids know that. Remember, children will take emotional clues from you. So do what you can to manage your anxiety and not overshare your fears. So these are the few things which we need to do it to talk to our kids about coronavirus. Shilpa?
So we have spoken about all the scary things and what parents have feared or what fears they have. Now let us tell them as to how they can engage their children positively. Give them a list of ideas they can choose from.
Yeah. So, how to keep the kids occupied? So, first we are going to talk a little offline activities. First is family time. Plan a surprise of act of kindness. As Shilpa was talking about act of gratification, we can have an act of kindness. We can have act of gratifications. You can send little notes. The kids can do photoshops and send surprise messages to the parents and stuff, or they can have a kindness act at home for the parents or the kids or grandparents or whoever is available. Next, connect and learn from your relatives. For example, grandparents are not staying with us, but they have the good storytelling capacity. So say them to teach them how to be a good orator or a storyteller. If they know how to make a puppet, say them how to make a puppet. So whatever the skills the grandparents or the parents or the extensive relatives know, let them help us to solve this. So let's get closer with online and help them to learn more things which we used to do it on our summer times. So just reflect back on our summer times when we used to go to our nanny's house or grandparents' house, how we used to do it. So just relax, think on that, you'll get many ideas. Cook a meal together. You can have child responsible about making the list of what are the things necessary or taking out the things and winding up the things. Let them get involved. As obstacle course, we did just saw in the Ekam video how the obstacle race was arranged in that. There are more online YouTube. You can have indoor obstacle courses, and that there are n number of videos which you can do it at home. Have family treasure hunts. In the same time, you can make little writing notes or you can make an abbreviation. You can give them phases and say them to find out where the things is hiding and what they wanted and how it goes. So that helps to critical thinking also. Start a family word jar. Make the words and put it in that, and on the dinner table, take the word and make the phrases or the sentence towards it. So the kids are learning the language vocabulary also. I let them act as a journalist and question someone in the family or extended family and say them to write a note about it, write an article about it, or present it during the dinner table or somewhere, or make a video and send it over the family group. So people tend to see and appreciate how they do it. So this is also something which we can start doing it. Sharpen your memories, go back to our old times, take the plate, put five things, show it for 10 seconds, hide it, say them what are the things. The older people can write the names. More older kids can make the story about five things what they saw in the plate. So you can modify the activity according to the age of the child, understanding of your child, and the memory of your child. You can have karaoke songs, sing along together, and we can have stop and go and games wherein we can have animal walks, frog walk, chicken walk, this walk, that walk. There are so many varieties where the children will just exhibit their energy, and you will have less to how, what should I do to channelize their energy. So there are few things that you are channelizing their energy. You can set up a market at the home, say them to give the tax to the things and ask them, why is this costing high, why is this costing low. This will help them to have the orating skills which the child requires to verbalize many things. Sometimes they become a waiter at home, they serve the food and you tip them or something like that, and turn vice versa, you can take turns how to do that. Many of the art activities like making mats, making quilt art, bracelets, earrings, whatnot. Then there is also a playing game, cards. With cards, we can teach them mathematics skills, addition, subtraction. Later stage, how the playing cards would be getting into the sequencing. Sequence memory enhancement is also important. Last, we can have 7 day challenging behaviors, whatever behaviors you feel, give them, like there was an ice bucket challenge sometimes back on Instagram. So we can have some challenging things for the kids where we can help the child to modify them. So these are the few things which we can do it offline, and there are few things which we can do it. So there are few online techniques which we will be sharing across, and you can just go through it when you will get a mail out of it. So in that we have added NASA, or we have added many of the UNICEF or WHO. What are the activities that they are providing online for math, literacy skills, and many other things. So these are the few things which will roll it out to the parents when we get your mail IDs. We already have your mail ID. We'll send you across.
I would
So
like to add one thing, Shama. When since your children are at home, I feel it's very important to help them understand the value of gratitude. So this
right.
is which can be inculcated at a very young age. We can just ask them to write few things about what they're grateful for.
Hmm.
You'll be to see the kind of things kids come up with. And during pandemic also, like if even I ask you what you're grateful for, we're coming down to the very basic things like a roof or a warm bed or just loved ones around us. So I think this is the time, since they are with us, this can be practiced, because once being grateful for what they have is inculcated in them at a young age, these kids can become somebody with extreme empathy, and they can understand what the other person is going through, not just think about themselves, and extend their help to near and dear, even if they're cousins in the family. So I feel we have to make it a point to write three things that you're grateful for every day, and you will be amazed to see what kids can come up with.
Yes, absolutely right, Shilpa. In this, I really understand on that. So I just the closing thing. How do you manage? Many of the parents are questioning. How do you manage the screen time at home? What do you say, Shilpa, on this?
So, see, I've seen a lot of parents who just close their minds that screen time is bad. No, it is not. That is a saving grace for us in today's day and age. I understand we have to audit the content, what the kids are saying. I understand you have to monitor the number of hours they are on the screen. But I'm telling you, we can use technology to our best advantage. Uh, it's not about the technology is bad, it's about how you use it to your advantage. If a child is bright in math, download a beautiful math app with so many creative, colorful worksheets. The child will be encouraged to do different math. If someone is interested in geography, they can learn about countries, science experiments. So depending on what your child interest is, just look it up and download the age appropriate app, and they will have so much fun learning. I remember my son, he was just 5 years old, and he would identify 30 to 40 flags of different nations. I mean, even today, I can't. So you can channelize their, learning through screen time if you know how to use technology the right way. So technology is not bad. In fact, we are able to do this also because of technology, but it's just that you have to limit and audit the content and look into the number of hours spent on it. But at the same time, it cannot be only for learning. Let them play a game once in a while. It's okay. They live in a generation where games are on screen, and if you actually, even I was apprehensive when my child was playing few games, but then when I went and saw what he was doing, it was teaching him a lot, like, the critical thinking, working in teams. So we can't just rule out and say video games are bad. What kind of game is he playing? What kind of information is he getting? What kind of apps are being downloaded? So that is very important. So let's just not think screen time is bad. It's just that we have to be responsible as to the number of hours a child is spending on the screen.
Yeah, agreed. Completely agreed. So earlier I also used to advise not to use the screen, and now I'm taking the classes on the screen. So it's completely turn. So let's take few questions. The first question which I can see is right away, my kid loses interest in the studies. How to help them and get interested? First thing, keep a watch how much time you are giving your child. If the child is below 6 years, the child should be able to concentrate only for 15 to 20 minutes, not more than that. And if the kids are older, it would be more than 45 minutes or so, because they have the time span also. In the school also, if you observe, there would be a change of the period after every 45 minutes. So that is one thing. Second, if still they are not able to do it in the time span which we gave it, so you need to just put 1 minute or 2 minute ekdam quick activities wherein you can just make them play and then quickly back to the studies. For example, you can introduce exo game, which is just 30 seconds game. Once they get mind fresh, they'll get back to the work again. So you can keep posting the questions. Connecting with children through means, okay. Shilpa, let me know if you feel any of the questions which I'm missing. I'm just going through the questions.
I don't see the questions.
Okay.
How about when siblings are fighting at home?
Yeah. So when siblings are fighting at home, what we have to do is we need to have a contract with them. This is depends on what is the age of the child. If the child is more than 6 years, you need to have a contract. This is a time span. Today he is the leadership position. He will be having all the days what he wants to do it. The second day would be the other sibling doing all the things whatever he likes to do it. Usually what happens, we as a parents tend to intentionally or unintentionally give importance to one kid which is always right and who is always listening to us. But my naughty kids are also doing the same thing. My naughty kids any which ways will get their things done, but as a parents what we do, he will any which ways get it, let me give it to him. Don't do like that. You give them, one day is your, one day is theirs, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday is a holiday when we are only going to follow what parents wants to follow. So get them rules. The rules should be set. So things will start falling in place. Yeah. And the next one.
How to deal with crankiness is what one of the parents asked. Yeah. Can I take that?
Yeah, sure, please.
So kids are cranky for no reason. It's not that kids are cranky for no reason. Sorry, I rephrase that. So first we have to identify as to where the problem is, the source of why he's cranky. There's no kid just throws a tantrum unless something is around him is not, safe or sound, or it's not comforting him. So look into the sleeping pattern, how he slept, he or she, how was his sleep the previous night. what kind of breakfast was given to him. Was it nutritious enough, or does it have too much sugar or too high carbohydrates? Because that kind of takes them up, spikes them, and drops them completely. So, being very cautious as to what the child is feeding is important. So, it should be a well balanced, nutritious diet. At the same time, is he getting the attention he needs? Sometimes we are busy, so we tend to just kind of, let them do what they want to do, not really auditing as to what they're doing. So it's always important to see the source of his unhappiness or mood swings. So the sleep and food plays a huge role, and too much screen time constantly. He's looking at the screen. Of course, that also disturbs his sleeping pattern, and also attention span and behavior pattern.
Completely agreed. So as we did ABC behavior, it is more to follow on that aspect as Shilpa also addressed. So do we have more time, or you want us to wind up?
Please take one more question. How do you address children, feeding children without the screen?
Yeah. So already our kids are used to the screen time, so we cannot remove it. So how we encourage the mindfulness eating is, the first thing first we put a bite. The problem is putting the bite in the mouth. Once the bite is inside the mouth, the child chews it. So once till the child puts the food in the mouth, let it on and just pause it. Slowly reduce it. Don't like आज मैम ने बोल दिया, it's like completely screen off, no food in front of the screen. It's not going to work. It would be more stress. It would be more difficult. So start doing that, and after that you start, after 2 bites will on the screen for 30 seconds, after 5 bites will on the screen, and slowly reduce the screen time what the child is using already. We cannot have anything to do suddenly, we cannot take it off. So this is how we wean off the screen time while eating the food.
And also, I want to add to this that at Ekam, this is what we do. When the child starts eating food, we start asking him or her to tell us about the textures they're feeling within within textures they're feeling, the taste, how does it make them feel, how they felt after eating. So you're engaging them, with their senses about the food they're eating, and also asking them, you should stop when you're feeling full. Are you feeling full? So let them be engaged with their own senses, the texture, the taste, if your stomach is getting filled, how you're feeling after eating, how you felt before eating. So these kind of questions also help them to kind of be engaged with their senses and thoughts and emotions, and that also helps them to start enjoying mindful eating.